everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a makeup tutorial for you. I'm going to be doing the Ariana Grande bed makeup look. There's a specific picture that I have in mind. It's this one. I will pop it on the screen right now. And this tutorial basically came about because I've been wearing this long, like, high ponytail extension kind of thing recently. And me and Lois constantly joke that it looks like an Ariana Grande ponytail. How did I just say that? Ariana Grande? Can't speak today. And we joked that I should do a makeup tutorial on it, and it's actually happening, so here we are. I really like this makeup look. It's very kind of more lilac-y toned, like more mauvey toned than the makeup that I would usually do, but because it's Ariana Grande, the makeup look itself is one that I'm very, very comfortable with. There is liquid eyeliner involved and I am down with that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so I've just brought you in a little bit. We're going to start with foundation, but I'm not going to do concealer and the rest of my base until a little bit later. I'm going to be using the YSL Touche Eclair foundation. You're going to see this in another tutorial soon. My BAFTA's night out makeup tutorial is coming. I had to basically go buy a whole new range of foundations in different coverages because my face does not match any of my other foundations anymore. So you're going to be seeing a little bit of this for high coverage makeup looks. But that is why that tutorial, if you're wondering, has been so long in the making. And it's still in the making, is because I had to go out and buy a whole new set of base products because nothing worked anymore. So Ariana's base in this is just completely flawless, really, really perfect. So I'm going to be using the YSL Touche Eclair foundation. That is the most high coverage that I currently have. But other good high coverage foundations that are a little bit more matte are YSL All Hours foundation, Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk is also perfect, Charlotte Tilbury Magic foundation. Any of those would be perfect for this look. Also the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour foundation is a little bit more matte and it's amazing, really, really flawless. L'Oreal True Match could also be a good option. Yeah, any foundation you like, just we need to make the base really flawless and good coverage. Just kind of take inspiration from what I'm doing. You don't need to use the same product. So I've just put one layer of that on. It's really nice coverage. I might go in with a little bit in a minute just to see. I'm going to see how it settles first, but we're going to be concealing as well, and I'm going to be using a pretty heavy coverage concealer. I'm going to move straight on to eyeshadow just because I don't know what the fallout's going to be like with the more shimmery eyeshadows that I'm using. I'm using some shades that I haven't used before on my eyelid, and just because I want things really perfect, I'm going to like conceal after and everything like that. So eyeshadow first. So to start off with, I'm going to be using my Vis Art palette. This one looks like this, so tiny, so compact. I absolutely love this palette, and I'm just going to take this nude shade and I'm just going to do a really light wash of that all over my eyelid. I'm actually going to bring you in a little bit closer for this. Better. So yeah, just a light wash of that over the eyelid. I'm using this basically as a base for what I'm about to put on over the top, which is quite lilac-y, but her eyeshadow isn't too lilac-y, but it's got that like hint of mauviness to it, but it's also like a kind of nudie colour, and I don't have anything that is specifically that colour, so I'm kind of going to use a mixture of everything. So now that that's done, I'm going to be taking this little YSL eyeshadow. It's just like a lilac eyeshadow. It's this really gorgeous like lilac tone, and it's very subtle, I find. So I'm just applying that over the top of this nude shadow. So that's one layer of it. I'm actually going to layer this up. And then I'm going to go back to my Vis Art palette and just use this shade here. I'm just going to work a really light amount into the outer corner of my eye. This is just going to add a little bit of definition, and it's also going to darken that eyeshadow up a little bit. And then I'm just going to go back in with that lilac over the centre of the eyelid. I'm just going to spray this with some setting spray because I want it to be a tiny bit more pigmented than it's being right now. And have a little bit more shimmer, and this should do the trick nicely. I'm also just working that into my inner corner as well because that'll make a really nice highlight. And that has worked perfectly. I don't know if you can see that. The light in here is a bit funny today. So I'm going to do that again on the other side. Yes, I love that. And then I'm just taking that mauvey brown shade again and working that into the outer corner. And then to finish all of that up, I'm going to be taking this brown shade from the Vis Art palette onto a small little pencil brush, and then I'm just going to work that into my outer corner, and I'm going to be creating a little bit of a wing with my eyeshadow. So I'm just placing my brush on the outer corner and kind of lining it up with my eyebrow and then dragging inwards. And then I'm just working that up into my crease as well, just really, really lightly. I'm just going to bring that up towards where my eyebrow finishes. And this will basically be the line that my eyeliner follows as well. And then finally I'm going to take a little bit of this really, really dark shade from the palette. I'm just going to work that into my lash line. So I'm using the same technique again, but what I'm doing with the second layer of eyeshadow is I'm pinching my brush, which I've shown in a few tutorials before, and I'm using that to go along my lash line, but also create a wing on my outer corner a little bit. So I'm going to have a nice guide to follow with my eyeliner. It's actually a really handy trick if you struggle with eyeliner. And today's eyeliner is definitely going to be a little bit different for me because Ariana has a curved line, which is something that I am not used to at all. I normally do a kind of very 60s straight flick, so this is a whole new ball game for me. So yeah, that is the eyeshadow. I'll clean that up with concealer in a second. For eyeliner, I'm going to be using this YSL liner. This is their Couture eyeliner. It's more of a matte finish than a glossy finish, which is why I'm using this one. I didn't want to use my Guerlain liner that I use all the time because that is much more of a glossy finish and that's just not right for this look. So let's get started. So Ariana's eyeliner starts just after her iris finishes. This is where I would normally start my eyeliner anyway, so this is fine for me, but just don't go all the way into your inner corner. We want to start around here. So start around where your eyelashes start. I always find my eyelashes start around here. And then we're going to bring the eyeliner up and over, so it's going to really work with the shape of the eye, and then it's going to flick out. As you can see, we've gone very, very rounded with this line. And then immediately at the outer corner of the eye, we're coming back up and we're going to follow this line of eyeshadow. At this point, I would recommend not dipping your brush back into your pot of eyeliner. Just keep it very kind of dry at this bit because you can trace out the line. And if you go wrong, it's a lot easier to correct or hide. I'm going to leave that there for a second, and then I'm going to do my other eye and make sure they match up before I do any more tweaking to this eye. But so far, pretty happy with this. So again, starting just where my lashes start and then bringing the eyeliner up and over. And this is the hardest thing in the world after basically just drinking a pint of coffee. Don't do that, kids. Okay, so I'm quite happy with where the wing is at, but what I'm now doing is just going over the edges of this flick with my brow product, just because Ariana's eyeliner actually looks quite like soft and my eyeliner was just looking very, very harsh, and her flick is really like nice and feathery. It's really, really pretty, and this is just a really nice easy way, because I've got the angled brush ready already, of feathering out that flick and just softening it a tiny bit just so it really like feathers out. With liquid liner it is quite hard. Once that flick stops, it just kind of stops dead, whereas if you've got a little bit of eyeshadow or some kind of something just to kind of like gradient the wing out, that's kind of just how hers looks. So it's worth noting that this currently looks quite stark, but as we put mascara on, this will feather out and look a lot less in your face and scary. This eye, as per usual, has gone much better than the other one, but that's to be expected because this eye always goes better. Okay, so now we've done my eyes, the majority of my eyes. I'm going to go back and conceal just to tidy everything up before we go into like mascara and brows, like because I've got like spots around, like I've got this spot on my eyebrow, so I want to conceal first and then do brows and stuff like that. And I always do mascara relatively late on in my makeup look. I don't know why. I don't know. So I'm using the YSL All Hours concealer. It looks like this. If you haven't seen this on my channel, then you must be new here. Hello, my name is Suzie and I use this concealer all the damn time. It is incredibly full coverage, really long lasting, just bloody brilliant. I love it. The foundation that goes with it is equally wonderful. So as per usual, I just pop this in all the areas that I need it, which at the moment just seems to be all over my face. And then I'm just taking the end of my IT Cosmetics foundation brush and I'm gonna buff that all in. You can see we've got quite a lot of eyeshadow fallout from the lilac eyeshadow from where I put so much on. And this is just gonna neaten all that eyeshadow up really, really nicely as well. Now that that is all done, we can move on to the fun bits. I don't know why, like eye makeup just stresses me out. So we're gonna do brows, and brows is gonna be a little bit different today because lots of you that watch my videos will know that I have quite rounded, kind of sort of arched brows. Ariana's brows in this are very different to what she would normally have anyway. They're very straight and they kind of stop quite early as well. If I was really dedicated, I'd pluck like the ends here and really go for it, but I'm not that dedicated, sorry guys. But yeah, we're gonna make them a lot straighter and a lot softer than I would normally go for as well. So I'm gonna be using my same Benefit brow gel, but we're gonna be going a lot lighter with the product than I would normally. So I'm just gonna use a spoolie quickly and just run that through my brows, kind of smooth them into the shape I want so I have a rough guide. Kind of gonna help me, might not. This eyebrow runs fairly straight comparatively to this one, so that we're gonna have very different eyebrows going on, just be warned. Okay, so I'm just gonna start at the front. I'm gonna lightly run the product through my brows and I'm gonna build them up quite high. My eyebrows usually start off small and then get thicker, but Ariana's kind of start off thick in this look and just kind of carry on that way until about here. So on the underside, normally I would work my way up and create a bit more of an arch. I'm not going to be doing that. This scares me. I'm not going to lie, this scares me. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there because that one's looking alright, and I'm just going to do the other one and try and match them up, and then I'll make them a little bit more perfect. And the way I'm doing this is I'm actually using the brush flat versus normally I would go like this in upward strokes. I'm actually just using it flat and going upwards, but the whole way along my brow. I'm just going to conceal around the top part of this eyebrow just to flatten it out a bit. Damn eyebrow's going up. Okay, and then we're doing the underside here. Again, I'm really trying to make that as straight as possible. This brow has way more of an arch underneath, so it takes a little bit longer. Okay, I'm not doing too bad at this. It's very strange to me to have a makeup look that is along such a similar vein to what I would normally do, but there's just certain bits that are so different. So I'm not going to set my brows or anything, I'm actually going to leave them like that, just because I don't want them any darker. I don't want them to look too harsh, because these are actually very, very soft brows that Ariana has, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go back to mascara now. So if you're new here, just a heads up, I don't ever really use false lashes. Chances are Ariana will have individual lashes or a corner strip lash, I think, on this look. I like to make things a little bit more wearable here, so we're going to just do mascara. So any volumizing, like seriously good mascara will do. I'm going to be using the Clarins Mascara Super Volume, and this one just kind of makes it look like you have false lashes when you don't, and I love that. And then I'm also going to just run this on my lower lashes, but not too heavily, just because it doesn't really look like Ariana's gone too heavy underneath her eyes at all. Okay, that is mascara done. I'm very, very happy with the way my eyes have turned out. You may see me doing this a little bit more from now on. So that is my eyes done. I'm going to contour and bronze next. I don't really contour that much, but I'm just going to use my Too Faced Chocolate Bronzer, and I'm taking that through my cheekbones using this IT Cosmetics angled blush brush, I think it is. This brush has a really nice like shape for contouring. I'm just going to do a little bit down my temples. I'm just going to contour down the side of my nose as well. I'm doing this very loosely. I don't want it to look too perfect. Okay, so my contour is done and now it's time to highlight. I'm going to be using an old favourite. I hope you're not bored of this. This is MAC's Double Gleam. It is just like the most beautiful champagne highlight colour. It's very, very like universal. I find it doesn't really have much of a colour, if that makes sense. But Ariana's highlight colour is just kind of like very, it's like there's no champagne shimmer, there is no pink shimmer, it's just a kind of very natural highlight colour, and this Double Gleam is like one of those that it's not translucent, but it does just work on a lot of different skin tones, and it just kind of looks like the light is hitting you. There's no like highlight colour, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but yeah, I'm just applying this to the tops of my cheekbones, and I'm going to run a tiny bit of that onto my temples, but not too much, keeping most of it just over the tops of my cheekbones here. That's lowest coming through the door. Then I'm running a little bit of that down my nose, into the tip of my nose, Cupid's bow a tiny bit, and chin. Any excess, put it on your collarbones. Thank me later. And finally, I'm just taking this tiny weeny brush here and dipping that into Double Gleam, and I'm just going to pop that in my inner corner just to finish up my eyes. And then we are moving on to lips. I'm going to use a mixture of 3 lip products. I've got 2 liners. One is the MAC MARIAH Carey lip liner. It's just a very, sorry, my hands are covered in swatches from where I was prepping for this makeup look. It's a very brown lip liner. I'm going to use that for the outer corners and then a little bit for shadow underneath. And then I've got Whirl by MAC, which I'll use for all over my lips. And then I'm going to go over the top with MAC's Clouds in My Coffee, because Ariana has a very cool toned nude on her lips. Now Ariana has very full lips, so I'm going to overline. She also does something that I love doing, where you basically overline and then get rid of your Cupid's bow, which I love having mine, and I purposely like will avoid putting makeup around here so that I keep that shadow. But she just completely goes over her Cupid's bow. Like so. My lips have actually got like Vaseline on them at the moment, so they're looking a bit shiny. I need to dab that down. And the same underneath. I'm going right under my lip here and creating a shadow, because Ariana's lips always look really full, and then just rounding off that shape. And this lip liner is the best one I own for creating a shape. Then what I do is go over with an actual colour, because this looks very, very 90s. And then just blending that out. I'm actually going to put a little bit more of this liner just over the top, just to give it that more browny tone. And then finally popping Clouds in My Coffee over the top. And then I'm just taking what's left over on my concealer brush and just using that to neaten up my lip line. Now quickly before I go, in the spirit of it being an Ariana Grande makeup tutorial, I thought I'd give you the full shebang and show you how I put my hair in my high ponytail kind of thing. So I will overlay over here right now what I'm doing, but I'm basically pulling all of my hair back into a high ponytail. I think I'm actually going to try and do a little Dutch braid down the centre of it, just because that's what Ariana has in the bed video, and I've been really enjoying having braids, some of you might have seen on my Instagram, in my hair recently. It just means I don't really have to wash my hair, and I love that. If you don't know how to do Dutch braids, I will link to a tutorial in the info box. It won't be from me because I'm useless at hair tutorials, but I'll link that down below. But after I've done the Dutch braid down the centre of my hair, I've just pulled it all up into a ponytail and then stuck my Hair Rehab hair extensions, this is a ponytail wrap, into my hair. If you don't want to do this, if your hair's long enough already or you're just not feeling hair extensions, which is totally fine, I would just recommend wrapping a little bit of your hair around the base of the ponytail where your hairband is, just to cover it up. Ariana does that a lot and it just makes everything look so much more pulled together, and it just look, I don't know, I do this all the time now, it just looks so good whether you have hair extensions in or not, so I would highly recommend that. But yeah, that is my finished look. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'm gonna go now because I've got a Q&A to film, but I hope you're all having a wonderful day and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.